Hi, Brandy. This is Wendy Nixon. Thank you so much for your post. Excuse me. It must have been terribly frightening to go through that earthquake, and I'm glad you and your family are okay. Honestly, that's something I've never experienced myself. One point that you make that stood out is your description of having the negative thinking and twisted thinking, and that when reality struck after the shaking stopped, then you knew everything would be okay. This puts me in mind of some of the principles I've learned over the years about stress. Heather Forbes and Brian Post, 2006, in their book Beyond Consequences, Logic and Control, discuss some of these stress and potential trauma principles. They state that fear has the ability to constrict, so only the negative is seen, and then this distorts our ability to think clearly and rationally. And that does sound like a description of what you were experiencing. They develop a stress model that has 4 key principles. And again, the first principle is that all negative behavior arises from an unconscious, fear-based state of stress. During stress, the amygdala in your part of your brain releases stress hormones such as cortisol, and for survival, then you start to go into kind of fight, flight, or freeze mode. Most people have heard about this. You have confused thinking. The rational, logical part of your brain, sometimes called the executive function, shuts down. And and you described that when once the shaking stopped, reality hit, and then you knew everything would be okay. So that's obviously your brain shifted pretty quickly, and your logic and reasoning kind of came back online. So another thought is that Psalm 11:4 in the Passion Translation 2020. I accessed that on BibleGateway.com for free. You can look it up if you'd like. God is never shaken. He is still found in his holy temple and is king of all. That stood out to me because I just read that as part of a devotional. And so it's really, the whole psalm is about how God is, even though man and the world is shaken, God is not. So that gives us great confidence in his consistency and faithfulness. And also, I like your statement, as long as we hold firm to faith, all is well. And I think that speaks to, if we can hold on to those thoughts about God, and, then we can have that inner peace. Proverbs 23:7 in the New King James Version, 1982, also on BibleGateway.com. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So thinking results in, beliefs and behaviors, which is also one of the foundational principles of cognitive behavioral therapy. So I just think that that's interesting, that obviously this is a principle developed, a truth from God, and man has confirmed that with the science of cognitive behavioral therapy and research. I would also propose one step further, that God not only gives us this warning system for survival, but he also helps us when we are confused and don't know what to do. Psalm 139 in the Passion Translation, 2020, really speaks to this. It says, "You know all about me," is how the psalm is titled. And then I'll just read you a couple verses real quick just to demonstrate the thought. Lord, you know everything there is to know about me. You perceive every movement of my heart and soul, and you understand my every thought before it enters my mind. You are so intimately aware of me, Lord. You read my heart like an open book, and you know all the words I'm about to speak before I even start a sentence. You know every step I will take before my journey begins. You've gone into my future to prepare the way, and in kindness you follow behind me to spare me from the harm of the past. So that's about the first 5 verses. Anyway, just a great encouragement to me. I love that psalm also. So thank you so much for your post, Brandy. Take care. Bye-bye.